Hi guys, are you ready for our study of biotechnology? We've already talked about how the system of biotechnology uses what we know about biology to make some kind of product or solve some kind of problem. We've talked about examples like water filtration, any kind of animal we keep as a pet like a goldfish, the production of lumber, manufacturing of cosmetics, any kind of fabric that comes from a natural fiber like cotton or wool or leather, human prosthetics, any kind of medicine, agriculture, whether it's animals or plant production, any kind of processed food. And we've also learned that creating a technology always starts with some kind of problem or some kind of concern. Here's some background. Couple of questions. I want you to think about the answer before I show you what it is. So kind of have an answer in your head and see how closely it matches what the real answer is. The world population is currently, take your guess, it's actually 7 billion people. By the year 2050, which is about 34 years from now, it is expected to be how big? 9.7 billion people. The Earth has lost a third of its arable land, that means land you can grow things on, in the past how many years? It would be in the past 40 years. And the United States is losing how much farmland per minute? That would be 9.5 acres of farmland per minute. So now we have a clear problem that leads to some concerns and some questions. First of all, what is your reaction to those statistics? Do you feel surprised? Do you feel scared? Fear? Do you feel angry? Do you feel an urgency to somehow do something about it? Do you feel a sadness? How about feeling motivation? Ask yourself, how can I be part of the solution? To come up with a solution, how to do something better, we either have to invent a new technology or we have to improve upon a technology that already exists. So, answering the question, how will we feed a growing world with shrinking land? We're going to look at the study of hydroponics, which is growing plants without soil. Growing plants without soil is not really a new technology. The idea has been around since the Hanging Gardens of Babylon in 605 BC, when a king whose name I can't pronounce decided to make hanging gardens using plants that were just in water to make his wife happy. Modern hydroponics is credited to a scientist named W.F. Garrick. In the 1920s, he was studying what nutrients plants need in order to grow well. He designed an experiment where he isolated separate nutrients and then added them to the plant's water one at a time in measured amounts. So he took away the soil, put the plants in water, and added just measured amounts of nutrients and kept track of which plants grew best. He accidentally found out that growing plants like this sometimes grew plants better as long as they had a few basic things. W.F. Garrick discovered that plants need nutrients, oxygen, light, and root support. Nutrients and root support usually come from the soil. So if we remove the soil, we somehow have to replace those functions. If you look at this picture, you'll notice that there's growing medium at the top. It kind of looks like soil, but it's not. And that is where our roots are anchored. There's a reservoir at the bottom which has a liquid in it that is the nutrient solution, and then there's something called a wick, which is an absorbent fabric that transports the nutrients from the reservoir at the bottom right to the root of the growing plant. Why would we want to grow plants inside without soil? Well, there's lots of reasons. It could be too hot, too cold, too wet, too dry, too rocky, soil with poor nutrients, too many insects, or lots of people live where there is no space to grow things outside. Or another reason is that some plants just grow more efficiently when the nutrients are delivered directly to their roots. Think of two pet cats. One cat runs around all day. Cat A has to get up and get dinner from his bowl. He's very active. And we have the spoiled cat, Cat B. Cat B sits on the couch all day. He gets fed. He lies there, doesn't move very much. Cat A ends up looking like this, and Cat B ends up looking like this. You could say he grew more efficiently. This picture again of what our hydroponic system will look like, that growing medium providing the root support, the nutrient solution in the reservoir below, and then a wick that transports those nutrients from the solution up to the roots of the plant. Think of that as the cat sitting on the couch getting all of his food brought to him. It's not so healthy if you're a cat, but pretty productive if you're a tomato. So hydroponics could become an important technology for feeding more people on less land. Are you ready to become a hydroponic farmer? If you are going to have to bring a 2-liter or half-gallon plastic bottle from home. You want to make sure it's well rinsed, it has a lid, and it has your name and section written near the bottom of the bottle. Please bring in an extra one if you can, in case people have difficulty finding one. And everybody should have a bottle, because you can use a recycled water bottle from lunch. It'll be small, but it will work. Examples of bottles that work really well: soda bottles like you would get a Coke product in, or my very favorite are the milk bottles that are kind of square cubes that you can get at the grocery store. If you buy milk in gallons, maybe ask Mom or Dad if they could pick up 2 half-gallons instead this week. What we'll be doing is cutting the top third off the plastic container. Notice the name and section are written at the bottom. We're also going to put a little slit up by the top of the bottle. We're going to take the top off and turn it upside down and put it into the bottom of the bottle. We're going to add that wick we saw in our diagram, and then we'll be putting a growing medium up top and nutrient solution at the bottom. We'll plant basil seeds in the top of your hydroponic greenhouse, and eventually you will have a healthy big basil plant growing in your hydroponic growing system. Other common plants that are grown hydroponically: lettuce, strawberries, tomatoes, any kind of leafy herb, peppers, and zucchini are common hydroponic vegetables. You are now a hydroponic basil farmer, and you are part of the solution to the question, how will we feed a growing world with shrinking land? And you rock.